Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Andy's Audio Crap, where we mainly deal with crap. Andy's audio crap, and in this case, my crap happens to be the model KD-2000 Kenwood. It's his automatic return turntable. So this dude he's had better days. She's in okay condition. She has a spider crack here, here, and here on the cover. So it'll get okay money. It's not going to get premium because these covers, dust covers, tend to be kind of the make it or break it between desirable and toy. So this one, I knew I was going to need a couple of things. First off, a belt. And usually I don't buy the belts individually, but in this case I didn't have the size. I needed a weight. The weight was missing over here, so cool, got that. And then grommets. I've just bought the grommets as I needed them, and I decided this time just to go ahead and buy an entire package of them. And I think these will work. We'll see, they're automotive. All right, so this one does have the 45 puck, which is always missing, almost always. And it does have the premium mat as well with the original aluminum plate in there. So let's not break the cover here. All right. All right, you always, if you can, take the cover off before you go doing this, because it's always bad news when you hit the cover. Oh, she's stuck. Alrighty. Let us do some oil here. Alright, make sure to use rubbing alcohol to dry this off later. Alright. Well, I think it's officially time to go into fast forward mode because she's gonna put up a fight. All right, let's do it. All right, breaking out of fast forward for here, and breaking out of fast forward. I've been waiting to find one of these when I'm filming a video to show you guys. But when you take these motors apart, like as you're spinning motors, if they like sound like they're grinding or scraping, like 9 times out of 10 it's this magnet. And sometimes there's a washer between the magnet and the lower portion here, and it was glued, but due to time, heat, the adhesives have gone. They've had better days, so all you really have to do is find a good adhesive, and yeah, I would say some kind of like epoxy. I use epoxy. And then set them up, and as long as everything's even, you have a motor that's as good as new. But this one's kind of I don't want to take this spindle off because, man, those are a pain to get just right, and I think I've got it. So we'll be doing the delicate glue this time, where we're just barely dabbing enough on there. You want to make sure not to get any on the outside, though. That's pretty important. Don't get any out here. All right, alcohol it down, get it good and clean, and then we're gonna glue it. Breaking out of fast forward again, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the motor mounts. So they were completely melted. They were shot. I don't know what they were made out of, but it felt almost like they were dried putty. I took them off and salvaged the original red washer here, and then I added the grommet to the mount, and then I added a grommet underneath to protect the motor from coming into contact with this metal. You want to do that because if this ever does come into contact with the metal, any imbalance in this motor is going to resonate through the entire player. The top of the grommet on here, I put a washer, and then I put a spring, and then I sandwiched them, and that creates a balancing so that the motor is not directly against any of the metal. So hopefully this keeps resonation down. I could not find an exact fit for this mounting mechanism here. So if you do find them, please post it. Other people that are working on these will probably want to see that, so check the comments if you're looking for those. But I could not find them, and it could be that somebody just needs to figure out a good substitute. This is fairly good. It does have metal in it, so it can end up causing some resonance to come through. The rubber is the best bet, but I've done this before in other situations and it worked just fine. Let's go through what was done. This was another one. There's another video that I just did recently on another turntable. It was a Pioneer 115, I think. I don't remember. Is 117 maybe? I don't remember, but it was jacked all the heck too. This one, somebody had been in here and tried to repair it. They didn't mess it up nearly as bad as whoever worked on that other one. A Pioneer was messed up, but it's perfectly fine now. It works great. Anyways, so I digress. The motor, service the motor. I buffed the spindle here and stripped it. It had a lot of belt buildup on it, like rubber buildup, and the rubber buildup will actually cause your plate to run too quick. So you want to make sure that that's good and clean. So that's been cleaned off of here. The spindle's been lubed. The mechanism in here is lubed. I have the weight that goes to it, the counterweight, hooked up to some fishing line. And then the play and cut weren't working, and they were just lubricant had dried up in there and became sticky. So I took all of this off, cleaned underneath there, re-lubricated it. The power on-off switch here was floating in here, and it had apparently been, and this is the first time I've seen this, or I don't recall, or I've never had to work on it before, but the power switch is held in by plastic screws, and those were broken. Of course they would be broken. I mean, there's a lot going on there. Anyways, lube, removed. The rubber pieces were shot, and so they actually look like dried putty. So there's new grommets on there. I bought, some time ago I bought new grommets and bulk springs, anticipating needing them. I just buy grommets one off, or I had been, and I'm tired of doing that, so I just bought a kit. And washer, spring, washer, grommet, washer, grommet. That's what's on all three mount points. And took the motor completely apart. You saw earlier in the video how the magnet had become detached. Just reattached that with epoxy. Good stuff all around. I think the girl is ready to play. Let's give it a whirl. Man, this thing sounds awesome. I love it. All right, love these. Again, this is the KD-2000. I highly recommend getting one. This dude is all done, and she looks good. She looks the part, right? And then sounds really good. This is actually the cartridge, and stylus is just one of those. I think it's a $20 Audio Technica, like 3600, 3800, something like that. It's generic, and it sounds absolutely excellent on this player. But it has a lot to do with this techniques in the reference speakers, but it still sounds really, really good, despite, you know, this monstrous techniques. This is a monster. This is a good match for the monster. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.